everybody, Swirl the Cat here, and today I'm going to be giving you my Jijimon deck profile. I've been having a lot of fun with this deck at locals and just in general from the new set, and I would like to share it with you guys. This deck benefits from having a lot of green Tamers out on your field with Jijimon and some other Digimon in this deck, so let's get right into it. I'll start off by showing you what's in the egg deck. We're running 4 copies of Tamer from the newest set, BT11, and he has an inherited effect. On your turn, once per turn, when you play a green Digimon, you will draw 1 card. And it's going to go off pretty often in this deck because many of the Digimon bring out Tamers for you, and so you'll get to draw a card from that. Next up, I'll show you 4 copies of Jijimon for the level 6s. He has a when Digivolving skill, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Tamer card from among them without paying the cost, then place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then he has a when attacking skill once per turn. For each green or black Tamer you have in play, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. You may play any number of green or black Digimon cards whose total play costs add up to 10 or less from among them without paying the cost, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is really cool because depending if you have like a lot of Tamers on your field, you can reveal that many cards and then call, however many things as long as it adds up to 10 or less. He is definitely the key card of the deck, and it's just a really cool effect to play Tamers for free, Tamers and Digimon for free with him. Next up, we're playing 2 copies of Rust Tyrannomon. This is also from the new set. And we're playing him because he's pretty cheap to Digivolve into this deck, because a lot of the times while I was playing this deck, I would have, way more than like 5 Tamers on my field and get to go into this guy for free. So when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into this card, you can reduce the dilution cost by 1 for each green or black Tamer you have in play, and then on all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon battle, you can unsuspend this Digimon. So 2 really good effects for just a aggressive card to put in the deck. Next up, we're running 4 copies of Pangeamon. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a really important card for the deck because this card is going to give the things that we call with Jijimon Rush, and then we have another card that's going to give the things we call with Jijimon Blocker. But first up is this guy. I kind of prefer him more over the other level 5 I'm going to show you because of his main skill effect. So, he counts as Leomon, but that really doesn't matter. We care about his when Digivolving skill, which is you may play 1 green or blue Tamer card with the play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying the cost. And that's just super useful in this deck. You can play, I'll show you guys the Tamers later on. We do run like Davis and a lot of Taigas and Mimis and other things like that in here. And then his inheritable is on your turn, once per turn, when you play another Digimon by an effect, one of your Digimon gains Rush. So when this Pangeamon is underneath like Jijimon and you use Jijimon's skill to reveal the, top cards of your deck and call something that has play cost of 10 or less, you can then give it Rush with Pangeamon's ability. So it's very, very good to have this guy underneath your Jijimon. Next up, for the next level 5 I was talking about, we got Mamemon, and he's similar to Pangeamon in, as like the inherited ability, but instead of giving Rush, he gives Blocker. And he has an odd play skill, and when Digivolving skill, to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and you can play 1 Tamer card with play cost of 4 or less from among them, and then put the rest at the bottom. He's good to get off of Jijimon if you call Mamemon with Jijimon from revealing Mamemon from the top of your deck, because then you can just get out like Mamemon from the top of the deck, use his on-play skill to get out a Tamer, and then just plus off of him in that way. But he's also really cool because he gives things Blocker instead of Rush like Pangeamon does. Next up, we're running 2 more level 5s. We're running more level 5s in this deck than you would in like a typical deck because you can call things from the top of your deck with Jijimon. So we want to have like more targets than usual for that. But this is Metal Tyrannomon. He's also from the brand new set. He's green and black, and he does cost 4 to Digivolve into, but I'm going to show you guys a Tamer later on that makes that like a lot cheaper, or actually 2 Tamers. But anyways, He has a Wind Digivolving and on play skill. For each of your green or black Tamer cards you have in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of your opponent's suspended Digimon cannot unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. And then he has a inheritable. It doesn't go off too much in this deck, but it does sometimes if you have it underneath something big like the Rust Tyrannomon. But his inheritable is when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon battle, you can trash top card of your opponent's security stack. So it's cool if you have it underneath something like Rust Tyranno that's big and that can delete things. But it is also cool if you have it underneath Jijimon, because we can make Jijimon pretty big with some other level 4s and 3s in the deck. But this guy is another good target, kind of like Mamemon is, because you can activate his main skill if you play him to kind of stun your opponent's Digimon for a turn. And next up is the level 4s. We got Tyrannomon. He is also from the new set, and he's looking super cute. I love the art of like all the Tyrannomon lines that came out in the new set, but he has an on-play and Wind Digivolving skill. You can just play a Tamer card with cost of 3 or less from your hand without paying the cost, and then he has an ability that just bumps you up by 2 if you have a Tamer in play. So that's pretty useful, very useful in this deck to have underneath Jijimon, because Jijimon is only 11, so making him something like 13 really helps out. And you kind of want to make this your main target to Digivolve into, because it's going to get you out some Tamers early game, so it'll have you set up for when you get out Jijimon. Next, level 4 is this guy, Tortomon. He's all the way back from BT7, and he just has an inheritable skill to reveal one green Digimon card from your hand, place it on top of your deck to have this Digimon get plus 3 DP for the end of the turn. So you want to have this underneath something, probably Jijimon, of course, because then you can reveal something that's green. You know, it could be probably Tyrannomon or just something that is less than 10, because then if you combo with Tortomon to reveal something from your hand like Tyrannomon, and you put Tyrannomon on top of your deck, and then you use Jijimon's skill to then reveal Tyrannomon from the top of your deck, you can call your Tyrannomon and then just use the ability of your Tyrannomon to call a Tamer. But Tortomon is kind of like just this card in the deck that sets you up with for Jijimon to then call things from the top of your deck for free, because you know, there are some cases where very rarely you will not have like a great target to call with Jijimon from the top of your deck, so Tortomon sets you up for Jijimon's calling skills. Next, level 4 is Ninjamon. He's also from the new set, and I'm obsessed with this art because it has Patamon and he's just looking super cute. But anyways, he is just another inheritable effect. When you play a Tamer, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. And this can combo in with Jijimon and Rust Tyrannomon. You could like swing into them, kill them, and then get rid of the top card of their security stack. If you have something like, where do you go? The other Tyrannomon, I can't remember his name. The dual color, yeah, there he is. Metal Tyrannomon, like underneath to, you know, trash the top card of their security stack if you delete one of your opponent's Digimon in battle and survive. So you could combo like that with Ninjamon and Metal Tyrannomon, and then like Rust Tyrannomon on top if you had him to like restand. You could combo like that, but Ninjamon's very good for clearing your opponent's board by suspending their mons. And here is another different Tyrannomon. He is a really older card. He's all the way back from set 2. He just has Wind Digivolving skill to reveal top 3 cards of your deck. You can add one level 5 Digimon card and one green Tamer, and then you put the rest on the bottom. I just like to run a Searcher card in this deck because sometimes all you need to do is set up your hand so you can get out something like Jijimon. It's good to add Tamers and, you know, things like level 5s to get to build up your stack. So just 2 copies of Tyrannomon there. That's it for the level 4s, and let's move on to the level 3s. Running this green Agumon from the newest set. He's another Searcher. He just has an on-play ability to reveal top 4 cards, add a Tamer card from among them to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom. And then he has an inheritable that says if you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. So very useful to make your Jijimon or Rust Tyrannomon very big. Next up is Betamon. Betamon works very well in this deck. He has an on-play skill to reveal top 3 cards, add 1 green level 4 Digimon card, or 1 green Tamer card, put the rest on the bottom. Another searcher, kind of like Agumon is, because the more Tamers you have going on the field, the better. So it's good to get them in your hand to use them. Next, we have 2 copies of Terriermon. This just says when you play a green Tamer, you gain a memory, and then he has an inherited ability. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you get 2000 DP for the turn. And this will go off pretty often if you get Terriermon out by like Jijimon's ability, and then you can play a Tamer and gain a memory by Terriermon's effect. So you can kind of combo in that way. Terriermon's a very good card to run in the deck, but just 2 of them. Next up, we have a similar card to Terriermon. We have Angoramon from BT10. During your turn, once per turn, when you play a green Tamer, you draw a card. And then when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you also draw a card. So you could suspend your opponent's Digimon with like Ninjamon and then use Angoramon to draw a card there. But yeah, we're using him just for some draw power. And that was it for all of the Digimon cards. Let's move on to the Tamer cards, and there are a lot of them if you were to guess, because this deck is all about getting out Tamers. So, we have 4 copies of Taiga from the newest set, and this, I want to say, is probably the most important Tamer in the whole deck, because this guy is going to bump up your Digimon, but also make all of your evolutions very cheap, because you're going to get a lot of these guys out on the board. You're going to get a lot of these guys out on the board more than once. So, you know, sometimes you'll have some games where you will have like 4 of him or 3 of him on the board. And you can rest him to, when you're digivolving into a level 5 or higher, to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So it could make some Digivolutions free. But yeah, like I said, he bumps up all your guys by 1, and then when one of your Digimon would digivolve into a level 5 or higher, suspend him, reduce the Digivolution cost. He has a security ability, as all the other Tamers, just to play him for free. But Taiga, very important, run 4 copies. And then we are running a couple copies of the older Taiga from set 2, because we are running a good amount of Tyrannomon cards in this deck. And it is very cool to get piercing from this Tamer for your Tyrannomon, especially like Rust Tyrannomon, so you can, you know, get rid of their security pretty well with something like Rust Tyrannomon that restands. So he just gives them all of your Tyrannomons in their name with piercing, and then when digivolving into your Digimon into a card in your hand with Tyrannomon's name, you can suspend him to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Kind of like the other Taiga, but only for Tyrannomons. Next up, we're running 2 copies of Izzy and Mimi. This one's a little bit of a different Tamer because of the second skill, but I like it for the first skill. At the start of your turn, if your opponent has a suspended Digimon, you just gain 2 memory, so usually that'll happen, and then you could, you know, start your turn with like at least 3 or 5 memory, depending on what your opponent left you with, and what Tamers you have on your board. But it has another ability. When you attack with a level 5 green Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. You may digivolve into 1 green level 6 Digimon card among them into the attacking Digimon without playing its memory cost. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So that ability, I don't really use it too often in this deck, but you could use it to go into something like Jijimon or Rust Tyrannomon, depending if you want to take that chance, but it's nice to have that option with this Tamer. Mostly use it for the first ability, though. Next up, we have 2 copies of Mimi. This one is a really old Tamer from set 1. She sets you to 3 at the beginning of your turn. And then if you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play, you can rest her to hatch 1 green Digi-Egg into an empty space in your breeding area, or move 1 level 3 or higher Digimon from your breeding area to your battle area. So super useful. It's pretty cool if you get like more than 1 on your field, because then you can kind of rush your opponent by moving things from your breeding area to your field and then like attacking with them or comboing off of that in that way, but pretty good card to run in this deck. Here's the last Tamer we're running. It's just 1 copy of Davis. Some cards in this deck do specify that it has to be a green Tamer, but some of them do not. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of these guys says it just says like Tamer. Like, I think Jijimon just says play a Tamer. Yeah. Digimon's first ability, when Digivolving, reveal top 3 cards, you can play 1 Tamer. So Davis is just to give us that add, because he's going to add a green Digimon card, and he also sets you to 3, so it's pretty good. You can also get him out by Digivolving into Pangeamon, because he does play green or blue, but one Davis has helped me out in this deck pretty well. And then here is the last card of the deck, just one copy of this option card that came out in the new set called Buster Dive. So when you would use this card, if you have a green Tamer in play, reduce the cost by 1, so it only costs like 3. And it gives one of your Digimon plus 5 DP and gains Rush for the turn. And then these security abilities, just to add it to your hand. So we're just running one copy of this because, you know, it's mostly just like a fun card, but it's also just for more aggression in this deck, because you can use it, for example, when it flips to your turn and you have Jijimon on board and you just attack with Jijimon and Jijimon gets out, like, you know, 2 things, you can then spend 3, use Buster Dive, give something that Jijimon called plus 5 and Rush. You can attack with the thing that Jijimon called out, you know, automatically in case you don't have Pangeamon underneath Jijimon when you use Digimon's when attacking skill. But that's why I like Buster Dive. It's just a more aggressive card, and, you know, I like how it adds to your hand in case you check on your security, so you can use it when it goes back to your turn. But that has been it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, this has been one of my favorite decks recently. I just love playing Jijimon. I'm glad that they made an actual deck, you know, about a whole deck surrounding him as a Digimon, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope this helped you out. If you have any questions, just comment in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.